Hello, this evening we have a demonstration of bird photography techniques from our friend and member Klenke. She's a longtime LPA club member and a bird enthusiast. She's going to give us techniques to enjoy and improve our bird photography. She goes out and finds all the cool places to get all the cool birds, and she's going to show us how she does. Come on up, Kate.
Thank you. There's two of them open. I think it's the same one. Oh, okay.
This one.
Oh. Okay. Down. All right. Okay. This is good. Perfect. We're good to go? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, is this good? Not too loud? All right. Good evening. I'm Klenke, and some of you know me. Thank you for coming out tonight on the rainy night for notes on bird photography. So Andrew asked me to present on birds. Kind of a surprise given I have so little experience. Most of you have more experience than me. So my first digital photography course was in 2020. So I am still learning. So, my digital experience will go. That said, I do enjoy shooting birds, and these are some of the notes and observations. My husband and I like being outdoors, being in wildlife settings, and sharing a hobby together. Does that work? Here. Click on the screen. Click on the click with the actual mouse. Here. Let's click here. Oh. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's okay, good. Okay, so we'll that one down. Okay. The goal is how to have fun with birds, how best to optimize the fun in shooting, and then the way we found to do that was having the equipment that makes it easier, knowing about the available resources, and going where the birds go. Oh. Okay, so just this area. Yeah. Thank you. Well, appreciate it. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so we look at the equipment that facilitates it the best. A sturdy tripod, and with the idea that if you're working a telephoto lens, you want up to 20 pounds load. I use a Manfrotto carbon fiber travel tripod. It extends easily. It's very robust and sturdy for traveling, and very stable. With that, I use a lens coat leg pad. That's the shock absorbing pad that we use as a shoulder pad. That helps for trekking the whole gear out. With that, we have a gimbal head. This allows for the easy tracking of the bird's movements with the two axes of movement that is very smooth, and also supports the lens in a balanced position. So you can let go of the whole thing and the head still stays balanced. That's a Wimberley. I really like it. And if you have questions, let me know loud so I can open it up. The camera I use is an R5 Canon. It's a mirrorless. It uses lots of batteries. So always carry lots of batteries on you because you don't want to stop in the middle of a shoot and go back to the car. Cold weather also use your batteries. So as you guys know already. Let's see. The nice thing about the mirrorless cameras with the Canon is the tracking mode. And if you're going to do birding, that really makes it much easier. I found a huge difference in my success rate with that. The next one is a prime, a telephoto lens. That's pretty essential. It allows you to have the range to get out there and shoot at the birds and get them in focus. The unfortunate thing is they really need a lot of light. With that are extenders, and they're very helpful. and providing the extra reach, but again, they're bulky to carry around. There's something delicate to be wary of, not damage, time consuming to switch them out, and they also need lots of light. So, let's see, post-processing, highly recommend Photoshop, but Lightroom works too with that. I use Wacom tablet. I love it a lot. It helps with detail leveling enhancements. If you're going to do masking, it just makes it that much faster. It's precision control, and anything that makes editing easier is a win. There is a learning curve with them, but there's lots of YouTube tutorials. The telephoto lens, that could be a whole day discussion, anywhere from 100 to 800 millimeter. So what? Can capture hundreds of feet away. A 600 millimeter lens can capture clear footage of wildlife approximately 100 feet. Of course, it can go further, but to get quality photos, that's a range. Ideally, I like to my bird image to be a third of the display. Rarely does that happen, but that's ideal. Another thing, learn from the best. Lancaster Photo Association has the best photographers. I've learned so much from everybody. The talent, the experience is unsurpassed. So ask questions, learn lots. There's thousands of tidbits to get from these people. So that's one of your biggest resources. Another expert source I go to is photo safaris. My husband and I have gone to lots of them with Brent Hall. He's an exceptional wildlife guide. This is almost a commercial for him because I've learned so much on birding from him. So that's his website. Highly recommended. And then this is just to kind of get a gist of the lessons learned from Brent to help with improving on photography for birding. So moving slowly and quietly in birding areas. Now that seems obvious, but you'd be amazed how many people slam the door or yell and go, "Oh, look at that!" And which of course scares the birds. Being able to set up your gear quickly. Again, that seems intuitive, but there's a learning curve to that. If you can get your tripod out, get the camera focused, check your ISO, all the things that go through your checklist. Because as soon as you get out there, you have maybe a few minutes just to get the bird. Look for bird behavior. This is where Brent Hall excels. He understands their behaviors and anticipates them. So an eagle will poop before it takes off. And if you want to capture that lift off, that's something to watch for. A crane will lean way forward before it lifts off so you can get its wings going. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see, oh, birds often return to the branch that they left. That's a tidbit that will say, oh, okay, maybe I focus on that branch and then come back. If you're spending time in it, if the bird is really worth it for you. Owls perch in trees near open fields. I didn't know that. That makes sense that they're hunting for mice. So when you go into an open field and you see trees around it, look for owls. That's how we found some, and that was always exciting. And then male birds change colors during mating seasons, which can be very interesting. Like the rudder duck gets the blue bill, pelicans change colors during mating season. So if that's something you want to capture, it's good to know before you head out. The other thing is don't get too close to nests or fledglings. We want to keep the birds alive and active. Good morning. The other thing was limit your bird calling. So occasionally we use bird calling to get the birds to come to us since you're so far away. It's important not to overdo it, not to do it during mating season, but occasionally it has really good results. And then ask birders for help finding locations. Hopefully I can help you some.
Bird calling, do you use a phone app or do
You do use a phone app and have some pictures of which app we use and some of the results. So that'll be coming. It's pretty impressive. But see, the thing I learned from Brett too is take your shot and move to another angle. That seemed obvious, but I would focus on a shot and I wouldn't leave, because you gotta move. So the idea is you move, get another angle, get the light differently, always changing to see what else you can get. So things that I've learned on that one, and then shooting sequences, so you want to do shoots and bursts. He says that way you get 1 out of 10 shots will be in focus. What?
Well, that's about right.
Well, for me, it's more like 1 in 50. But eventually I do get that bird in focus. That's it. Then Britt's list of what makes it great bird photography. First and foremost, birds in flight. And then birds in flight heading toward you. Those are his prized shots. Young birds, nestlings to fledglings, bird behavior interaction, bird courtship families, birds feeding and bathing, quality of life, color contrast, and birds in their environment. So that's kind of the hierarchy of what makes a great shot. What John and I learned is that if you spend 3 or 5 days in a refuge or national park, not only do you increase your chance of wildlife encounters, but you learn about the local wildlife patterns. This also allows you to get the dusk and dawn photos because you're staying somewhere locally, making it easier to get up at 3 in the morning, get the shot, maybe go have lunch, and get the evening shots. So if you can, staying is really advantageous. We saw a profound effect in how many more encounters we got. Let's see, staying on the road. This is kind of nice. And it was counterintuitive to me. Brent always drove around, and I'm like, that's not photography. But no hiking mountains, no trudging through marshes. We stayed in our car, we drove around, all our gear's with us, food's with us, water, phone charger. And we saw lots of birds visible from the road. As long as you're inside the car, they don't care. If you get out, that's when you need to kind of move quietly, quickly, and try to get the shot. Because now they're aware of you. But in the car, they didn't seem to notice. They didn't matter. So driving around, we got some of our best shots. Let's see. As soon as you get to a park, have your camera and tripod ready. As soon as we drive somewhere, we pull out our cameras, we turn it on. You just don't know once you're in the environment what you're going to see and how fast. And how many times we missed it because we didn't. Sunrise and sunset are the great times to capture wildlife. They really come out at that time and are most active, so it's a good heads up on that. Available resources. Audubon Society is great. They have the field guides, they have lots of events, so that's a good group of people to keep in contact with. All About Birds is a nice website. They have courses, news articles, and then names. The Merlin Bird and Sibley Birds app are very, very handy. If you're using the Merlin Bird app, it is you can download it on your phone. It's free. It's through Merlin Bird ID by Cornell Lab. There's lots of other ones. I can speak to this one. You capture the image of the bird on your phone. You can also use your phone to capture the image from Photoshop. So if you're working on Photoshop in Adobe, you go, what the heck is that? Take the picture. It's on your phone. You go to the app, select Photo ID, prompt to choose photo, and Merlin provides best matches. It is pretty amazing how well it works. Even on bad photos, it does good. So I was impressed. That's what it looks like. You select the photo ID, and I put in the hummingbird. It came back and said it's an Allen's hummingbird. And I'm like, well, are you sure? I go to Sibley's Bird app. That database has 923 species found in North America specifically. Once Merlin has ID'd the species, I go into Sibley's. I can type in hummingbird. Right on the top line, you see Allen hummingbird, and it comes up with pictures. Not only with pictures, but it comes up with male, female, juvenile, silhouettes, wing descriptions, physical descriptions, and it has bird calls. So type in hummingbird visit, you can tap on Allen hummingbird, and there it comes up. So you can always verify what you got in with Sibley's. So I really like that. They're also the same company that do all the bird books, if you have those. Here's an example of a bird call from a cell phone. We saw the tom turkey, southwestern wild turkey. John played the bird call, and immediately the tom responded. Isn't it funny? And it's a much better picture, right? Seen the two, so it was a quick response. Go where the birds go, water, water, and water. Follow the Great Migration. There's lots of online information on that. Wild refuges and some national parks. Ventura Water Treatment Plant, wildlife ponds on Spinnaker Drive in Ventura has some beautiful places. It's a little more dangerous now, but folks will go in groups. Also Chica Wetlands in Huntington has an amazing selection of birds. And then look where the professionals go. Bosque del Apache in New Mexico in December. Morongo Valley, which was mentioned. April's a good time. I'm sure May will be a good time. Bear River Refuge, Utah, anytime, and Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming, anytime. These are far away, but if you look under the fish and wildlife, the wildlife refuges in California are listed. If you look here at all those red dots, those are all the refuges that we use for the Pacific Flyway, and we have hundreds of them. So again, it's the Fish and Wildlife Service, and it provides on this website where the birds are, the species. You can take hunt by region, and then they take you specifically to the links to the parks. A good resource for birds. Okay, this is my favorite, the Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge. That's by Brigham City, Utah. It's also overseen by the Fish and Wildlife Service. There's over hundreds of birds. It's a 12-mile auto tour. So it's a little dirt road that you follow in a loop. Takes us a couple hours. It's a marsh on the northern side of the Great Salt Lake. It has outhouses when the visitor center is open. That's a nice place, nicer bathrooms. And it's close to the Brigham City, which also has hotels, restaurants. It's a nice town. Pictures I've taken there in the winter, northern harrier, it's eating the mallard that's frozen in the ice. Trumpeter swan standing on ice, and then a great blue heron that's standing over a fishing pole. I don't know if he made it or someone else did it, but he's waiting. Let's see. Also there, the Clark Reeves, and you can see in the picture they have 3 of their chicks. So in springtime, there's lots of babies, lots of opportunities. Also at Bear River, I saw the white-faced ibis and the American ibisette. Sometimes you get interactions. Great egret is having a fish lunch. The northern harrier, if it's gray, it's a male. It's called the gray ghost. Those are plentiful out there, and that's always fun to take shots of. To Yellowstone in Wyoming, they have eagles, and eagles. I've never gone and not seen eagles. That's always a beautiful park. Last time we saw in spring, which means babies, we saw the dusky grouse with chicks, and the interaction, her guiding the chicks across the road, and her calling, and a lot of behavior within that interaction. They have the cliff swallows, which build nests next to the Lamar River. There are hundreds of them, so it's interesting to watch the aerial flights that they did. Yellowstone, I saw a great horned owl. Grand Teton, I saw a great horned owl. Again, nice to big fields, ready to get mice. See, okay, there's another Bolsa Chica Ecological Reserve. That's in Huntington Beach. There's 5 miles of trails, but no car. So it's walking tour. There's 1,300 acres of wetland, but lots of birds. Terns, egrets, herons. This is a picture of a black-necked stilt and a long-billed alligator. Bolsa Chica is known for the terns. They do diving into the water to get the little minnows. It's right next to the ocean. And one of the things that Brett Paul said was that if you're trying to get a picture of the turn, don't catch it going into the water, catch it coming out of the water. So if you know where it dived in, you can get that lift-off picture as it comes out. So little tips like that make it easier.
Sometimes though it swims under the water and then it comes up in a different location.
True.
And that's not.
It is. They're tough birds to get, they move very fast. Let's see, also cheek, I got the osprey there, which was nice. That wasn't too bad. He was posing for us. The gray blue heron is building a nest like they do up in Ventura. So good behavior there. And, oh, Fox del Apache. Okay, this is in New Mexico. The town is called San Antonio, but it's larger town is Socorro, and it's below Albuquerque. So it's known for the wintering of the sandhill cranes, the snow geese, and a variety of ducks. We also have a ton of raptors. They have a nice gift store, clean bathrooms, 57,000 acres, and well-maintained roads. So we did a figure eight that would take us a couple hours, and did it twice a day, and we did it for about 5 days. Yeah, and in that time, you're getting there at dawn, you're leaving at dusk. But in the winter, that's not too long. That's a short time. Let's see, this is a prairie falcon. He's, we got that from the car. I didn't leave the car at all. He was just sitting there. He's eating a smaller bird. Then there's a white-tailed kite, which is a beautiful bird, but he's much further away. You get what you get. The northern harrier was hunting all afternoon in one of the fields. So we got him and his mate going through the harrier classic cover. There were golden eagles, bald eagles. This guy was sunning. He was not going to move. Lots and lots of American kestrels. The hovering was classic kestrel, and then there's a male and female. There's also at Bass del Apache, we saw a western meadowlark and tons of loggerhead shrike. There were hundreds of birds. They actually have a checklist, the gift store, where you can go through all the hundreds of birds. You see and mark them off as you get to them, which is what we've tried to do. That's a gamble quail. It's, lots of those. This is a red-tailed hawk. Was able to get him at the liftoff heading toward us, and that was nice. And it also the evening sun. It's time for them to hunt. This is the PSA nature description, just in case you wanted that on wildlife. And that's it. So the idea is have fun and good night. Thank you very much.
You touch on back button focusing when playing with birds, please.
Okay, so we use the back plane focusing. That's a technique where you are constantly focusing with the I don't know if I can, I was ready to do that, but that is how we do the photography. We change the focus. We don't click on it. We use there's a button that comes with it called the back focus. With that, you're always, as the animal leaves the plane of focus, you're always refocusing to get it. So very few times the bird flies this way. Usually it's doing this or doing that. And if it's coming to me, I'm always going to be refocusing, trying to nab it, refocusing, nabbing it in a burst. Does that make sense?
Are you pushing it, letting go, or are you holding it down?
If it leaves the plane, I'm pushing it again. Does that make, so if it stayed in the plane, I can just push it and release.
Right.
But as soon as it leaves the plane, I have to refocus.
And
So
then you can-
servo doesn't adjust to that? Servo is like, it's supposed to, if it's tracking, it's supposed to auto adjust the focus. It doesn't.
I don't know if it does it fast enough for me, but and this is one way that Brent taught us to kind of get captured fast.
Right.
I mean, he'll even go to the point where he'll do manual on the lens because the lens is too slow for him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we did that with some hummingbirds for an afternoon.
How does the back button differ? The only reason I ask is I was speaking with an instructor in college this evening
Yeah,
about airplanes. He says, why are you not using back button? And
yeah,
I figured this is the perfect time to ask.
yeah.
How does it differ between, because I've always just held it button halfway down.
Oh,
Up
okay,
here, what's the difference?
you're gonna love it. It's a much faster focus. Yeah, it's just much faster focus. The response time of your camera it's always, it probably uses more batteries, but it's always searching. It's always refocusing, reacquiring, and it's that allows you to get something in motion. And you're right, the birds are much like shooting jets.
We have a practice.
Yeah. It does take some practice, yeah. Sorry if that wasn't,
No, that's perfect.
but we can go sometime. Yeah.
Do you know if that's something you do a custom save setting that would save or should it set that up every time? Like, you're gonna switch back and forth?
It's saved, yeah. I don't have to save it up every time.
Yeah, you can like for your camera model, you can look up how to set up whatever for back button focus.
Yeah.
And it's actually very simple. You just reassign the buttons on the back as your focus. And you take the focus out of your shutter button. And then you can pull that down as and you don't have to worry about, because you'll be like with your camera, and sometimes it's too slow, it has to focus and then take the shot. And sometimes you'll accidentally push the shutter if you're holding it halfway down.
Yeah.
So it's easier just to have that button thing.
Maybe we should do a day of that too. I mean, maybe we should do a workshop on that. Yeah.
Some of the cameras have the ability to focus on the eyes and follow.
Yeah, that's true.
Here's the
Maybe, and that may be good for mammals. But like,
But I haven't seen it. It's
Nikon
right?
is,
The tracking supposed to be, but for birds, it's okay.
yeah,
Sometimes it's.
I have a tracking mode in the R5 and it tracks birds really well. And with that, I use the back focus and I get 1 out of 50.
Nikon mirrorless just added bird eye focus.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
they just added it last month.
Cool. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's really impressive how much they've come and how much the birds can. Let's see what else.
Bill K9 says, great job, Kate. Lots of great videos on YouTube about back button
Oh, good.
focus. Really great technique to learn. With the R5 Kate uses, you can set up multiple back buttons for different focus modes, single point on one button and I focus on another.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's great. Canine to the rescue. Excellent. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot more to learn. And like I said, I'm still pretty new. But what I've learned has really helped a lot. Yeah.
And I just want to say, because I like bird photography, if you follow me on Facebook as well, I always find birds.
You have some great ones. Yeah.
And a lot of them are in our valley. At Apollo Park, a blue heron, at least one pair nests every year. There's all sorts of the black herons, night herons.
Night herons. Yeah.
I found a kestrel out in our neighborhood in Roseman. I've found him 3 different times now, so he's very much in that area. And it's a male. I haven't seen a female, but so I've been able to take pictures of that. The quail, red-tailed hawks, egrets are around.
Do you go up to
What?
Do you go up to Pike?
I haven't been out to Pike Pond, but again, that's a really good location. Last year I found a pond with huge amounts of ibises. So many. It's dry this year, so now I have to find further than. But great horned owls, so many of them around.
Yeah.
You just have to find where the nests are. Keep a watch out. Burrowing owls are around, they're harder to find. I lost mine, to solar panels, but, I'm working on trying to find more.
Kathy, do you want this for the online people?
Oh, can they not hear me?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of birds that are around our local area. If you go to Apollo Park, there's, several, quite a few different varieties that are there, trying to find where the water is. Especially, kind of shallow water, where they can wade around. I went out to there's a little pond off of, like, say, take 138 all the way out and take the side road that goes over to Fraser Park. There's a pond off of that road. It has, I got a kingfisher over there, blue heron and egrets, the blackbirds with the red heads. Whatever those are called.
It's quail.
And, huh?
That's quail makeup.
No, not, it passed Quail Lake.
Towards.
It's a
Fraser
little,
Park. Yeah.
but hunt around for water, and there are so many birds up here. And like Tom, he went just to, when I was to see this over in Ventura, that's a couple hours. But they have bald eagles there, and at the lake, there's so many egrets, different kinds of, there's the snowy egret, and then the one with the yellow legs, whatever their name is.
Great.
Great egrets, yeah.
So you can,
The snowy egrets have the yellow legs, and then the great egrets have black legs. They're tall.
If you look up in the trees at Apollo Park, I photographed Wilson's warblers there.
Yes.
Bright yellow with little
Yeah.
hats on.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're so cute. They're tiny little birds, like 3 inches maybe.
But they're bright yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of birds in our valley. It's on the path. Orioles come through for about a couple weeks. And you set out your little Oriole feeder, and you'll get a lot of orioles in the yard. And hummingbirds, many different kinds of hummingbirds. So,
Park also.
huh?
Was it Woodland Park?
Yes,
Another Woodland.
the one,
In Van Nuys,
go down to
The
the,
ones that, right
Woodley,
here.
oh, the Woodland Reserve.
the Woodland Reserve.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, there are a lot of birds over there.
like Belleville.
Yeah, and then, right, the cormorants and egrets down there.
And Woodland Park.
Woodley Park, that's where, who came and spoke to us about,
Yeah. I'm like you too.
what about bird photography down in the valley?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's Woodley Park.
Yeah.
And there's paths that you can go on in
Balboa Basin.
Balboa Basin, yeah. And it has so many birds down there.
So,
So,
Yeah.
right, don't go alone. But, she's showing like a bit adventures to go on for searching birds, but you can find them locally, and huge varieties of birds.
Yeah.
So, it's not just something you have to go far away and do. Just sit in your yard and watch.
Very good. Well, thank you.
Thanks,
Did anybody else have any more questions for her? Sorry, I got sidetracked.
No.
I just wanted to encourage you that you don't have to travel to Yellowstone or Apache Boss or whatever. That you can find a lot of similar birds right here, and get great pictures. There's hawks everywhere. You just have to wait for them to fly away and you can get a good shot. And I mean, every time I drive, my eyes are very seldom on the road. Luckily, I did go, I haven't made having crash with her eyes. But I'm always looking at the power poles and in the trees and in bushes, or because they like to be up high, and you can, if you can catch a glimpse of them, if you travel certain ways, like the Kestrel, I saw him one place and find him now 2 other times. He's been over this other place, but it's within like a square mile of each other. So it must be pretty close to his home. So because he's very cute.
They are cute.
Tiny, but very cute. And yeah, I used to use that button all the time. And then I got with my camera when I got a new camera, I never said that.
Oh,
So maybe I shouldn't. Well, I guess it's kind of a short meeting tonight. But I hope that you guys learned some stuff, hang out, talk with each other, ask questions. And don't forget about next week, be here at 6 o'clock for our meeting with Mike Boats. He's going to be on Zoom because he does not live locally, but he has a lot of really great macro tips and tricks for us, and that should be a really great way to learn about that. And don't forget to sign up for the PSA roundup and for our Death Valley field trip. If you are going on the field trip, make sure you make those reservations for your hotel, and have a good night.